Dude, this song is so badass. I love it. Hell yeah. Just making everything look perfect. Hey, knock it off. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I actually cheated. I cheated, Jen, and I'm sorry.
What'd you do? You watched ahead.
I watched episode 4. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a good episode. It's a good episode.
As soon as I'm done here tonight and like editing, then I'm going to be watching the next 3 episodes because I am so ready for it. It's okay. Jace cheated on me even harder. He has watched the entire series. Yep.
At least I'm watching them with Mrs. Toastie, so.
Yeah. Mr. Jenn and I, unfortunately, don't get to spend a lot of time together, so watching separately is probably the best for us right now. Or else we'd never watch it. Oh. Dude, we've gotten so many followers already on this Twitch stream. We're at 11. Like, this is our first live stream, and we've already got 11 people built in. Hell yeah. But I think... Should we just get into it? Are you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Right.
I think. Maybe.
Possibly.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Right? Well, it's not like this is the one shot. Our one opportunity. We can...
Oh, wait, It's not? Oh, okay.
No. No, we can always fix it in post. I don't know.
Right.
Can't fix the live stream, but I can fix the audio.
Can't fix the live stream.
No. All right. Let's do this. Welcome to the Cyberpunk Lorecast, where we brave scanning the net to find all the deep history and lore of Cyberpunk.
I'm Toastie, a fixer that's new to Night City with a desire to jump into the details of this gritty setting.
And I'm Genesis, an old school media tech with a love of character deep dives.
Together, we will bring you the foundations of the past, the state of Night City today, and the news of the future.
We've got incoming. Let's Delta. Welcome back, punks. I am so excited to be here with my beast mode, my half fixer, half witcher bro, Toastie. How psyched are you to be here today?
I'm super psyched. This is our first episode, Jen.
I
This is
know.
our show now.
It is. It's our show, and you and I have had so many good, like, one-on-one conversations. We've talked on a couple different Lorecasts now. We've talked on Witcher, we've talked on Two Girls, and definitely in the in some voice chats. So I am super stoked to be doing this with you.
Yeah, I was super excited, and of course, like I'm gonna tell everyone else. I'm gonna tell everyone else on the show. As Tom offered me the podcast because we said last time doesn't have time for it, and I was immediately like, if I can pick my co-host, I want Genesis.
Aw. Yep. And then the suit is you sent me a message going, "Hey, Tom's thinking about handing over the Lorecast to me." And I was like, "Oh my god, is he gonna ask me? Is this the moment? Are you asking to go out? Hell yeah." Oh, yeah. No, Cyberpunk has been so integral in like so many different beats in my life. Like it was one of the first tabletop games that I really played and really got into. In fact, Jace and I were just talking about it. It's the first time that he was my DM in like any role playing game. So Cyberpunk definitely has a place in my heart.
It's got a place in my heart too, and yet I've only been playing it since 2077 came out, but
Hmm.
I play the tabletop too quite a bit. So yeah.
I mean, we just came at it from different angles. You started with the game and then found all of the other stuff around it. And then I started with the old school stuff and then eventually made my way to the game. So,
Now we
yeah.
have an anime, Jen. They made an
Hell,
anime.
a beautiful anime. I am not always the biggest fan of anime art style, but this was definitely something I could get into.
Mhm. Speaking of getting into it,
Let's get into
shall we?
it. uh, So it is
So yeah.
yeah. You know what?
We're
We've
new
got
to
to get
this.
all these. I know, right? We're new to this podcasting thing that we've each been doing for over a year now. But, it's our first time together.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jen.
All right.
Take it away.
So we are here tonight to review Cyberpunk Edgerunners, a Netflix original series. We will try to get through the first 3 episodes tonight, but even though they are only about a half hour long, I feel like you and I could definitely talk about each episode for like an hour apiece, if not longer.
Yeah, but for you, the listener, we're not going to do that
No.
because that would be. I'm sure y'all don't want to hear us talk about each episode for an hour because that would be like a 4-hour episode, and that's too much. I gotta sleep at some point too. So
Sleep is for the weak.
look, I get up early. All right, that's just how it be.
I know.
So shall we hop into episode 1,
Yeah,
or are we
let's
gonna
do it.
talk about what we think first?
Mm. Well, no, I think that we should let's first start it with the foundation of it. Like who created it, the number of episodes we're going to be covering, things like that. And then we can go into just episode 1 and then our overall thoughts of episode 1. Let's break it down.
All right.
So obviously
So
it is about cyberpunk.
Yes, yeah. Again, of course, the with the as probably all of y'all who listen know, uh, original setting created with the tabletop folks at Artel Sorian. Um, Great people, Mike Pondsmith. Um, kind of started the whole thing, or definitely started the whole thing, not kind of. um, and now we've gotten it here with CD Project Red, who made the game and who were also uh, part of making this anime.
Mhm. And then it came with Studio Trigger, right? They were the ones who are producing it.
Yes. So I've never watched any of Studio Trigger stuff, but I know that they have made some some pretty popular things. Things that come to mind, Kill a Kill. I know that's a pretty popular anime that they've done, as well as Darling in the Fran. And then they did have some. I think they did an episode of Star Wars Visions. I'm not sure which one, but I mean, Star Wars. You get the rights to say that you did an episode of Star Wars anything. It's a pretty big deal.
Definitely. I didn't know they did anything Star Wars. That's cool.
Yeah, they did. I think it might be the first episode. That seems to be kind of the same art style, but I haven't watched that, so I can't be for sure, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I get it. All right. Let's see. How many episodes total are there going to be? Or are they all out now?
I think they're all out. There's 10 so far,
Nice. Okay.
but I think they've already been probably cleared for another season, so we'll get some more in the future, which would be nice.
Very.
It's 10 episodes on an anime, nonetheless. That's nothing. That's nothing. That's like what, 5 hours of stuff.
Yeah.
That's only 5 hours episodes. It's not
That
enough.
is very short. And especially it's like cuz like what Naruto has like 50 episodes per season. I'm just trying to think of other ones.
Yeah.
Um no, so it is very very short. So hopefully we get a lot more content out of it. That would be good. Now, I've been a good girl and stuck to the rules that we were only going to watch the first 3 episodes, so that way we didn't spoiler ourselves and didn't talk about spoilers beyond the first 3 episodes. Somebody has completely removed himself from the camera because he's in trouble and he cheated.
Look, I only watched one extra episode. I watched episode 4, but I couldn't wait. Couldn't wait. I was eating dinner last night and I was like, I don't want to get into anything too crazy right now. So let me you know what works perfect here? A 20-minute episode of Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
All
So yeah,
right.
I cheated. I'm sorry.
You are forgiven. You are forgiven. All right. Let's talk about episode 1. How much did you love the opening scene?
It's like to have like a perfect like scene that just like starts off obviously with a bang, literally. Um and then just have like it immediately tell you about cyber psychos and just like how imbalanced the police are, because like the police force, it's not great. You've played We played 2077. The police, they suck. but it,
Yeah.
but then they send in Max Tack, the cyber psycho squad, and all of a sudden there's no more games. It's game over. It's done because they're so heavily funded, whereas the police are not. And it just shows all of that wrapped in a bundle. Plus,
Mm.
you know, cyber psycho, cybernetics, big booms.
I loved the line about the military. He's got military grade ice, as if ours isn't. It's like, come on. You know, we've got the same level of tech that they do. do your fucking job.
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy. Uh, and then like that to see the things that also just in the game that we know. Like, I mean, we see this is the first time we see the Sandevistan, which will come more prevalently here in the show, and then a mantis blade in one arm, explosive projectile in the other arm, like all of these things that you see. And he was, I can't remember what it's called. I know it's in like the tabletop, but he was like bulletproof. He had like a
Oh, the skin weave and stuff?
yeah skin weave, yeah skin weave or like subdermal thing or something.
Mm.
So because he was just bulletproof, he just did not police bullets, nothing. Didn't worry about it.
And
And
then
then
we find out
oh,
that he was watching a brain dance. He was watching a video that was recorded through the eyeballs of the cyber psycho, and then your body dies, and you're like thrown out of it. And it's like that is the perfect way to introduce it because now you've introduced the concept of psychos. You've seen the different tech. You've seen the different gangs and forces out there between the Max Tech and the police, and then you realize that it was just this kid. This kid was watching a real life movie, and that's where we meet David.
yeah, and it's a cool like I think it's a cool little mirror between the game because one of the first things you do in 2077 is like you go to Judy. Don't worry, I won't gush about her this time. Go to Judy and you get a brain dance, and it's even a brain dance where the end of it is the person dying, so you
Mm-hmm.
experience the death. So like same thing, gun to the head, done, brain dance over.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I forgot that you die in that first brain dance, and it's the same experience.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah. I also really like the fact that they linked it double back to the game. So you start with a brain dance, you start Edgerunner with a brain dance, and then after the latest update that they did to the game, they put the David brain dance in the game, and I went and found it. Have you done this yet?
I have not done it yet. I started a
Oh.
new playthrough, so I got a little bit before I do it.
Oh, okay. Um, so there's a symbol. After David finishes the brain dance, he's holding it in his hands, and he can see this little green symbol. And they talk about it. The Ripper talks about it later. But you can go to David's apartment complex in the game in Arroyo, and on the outside wall is that same symbol. Idiot, the absolute idiot that V is, walks up, picks up a random set of BD wreaths, and decides to just throw it on. Like, that's not smart, dude. Even though I'm the one telling you to go do this thing, it's still, it's just not smart. And you get to watch the same exact brain dance that David watches. Animation style and everything is exactly the same. And that's really cool. I was a bit disappointed that the second scene doesn't pop up, though.
Of course you were. Of course you were. Why wouldn't you be disappointed? We're not gonna talk about the brief second of porn we get because there's more later. Um, so after that, we immediately get to see an apartment that looks exactly like V's, like to the
Exactly.
just every detail, essentially V's. Um, and we also get a kind of good view of David and his mom. They're not too well off. Can't even afford to wash their clothes in the full cycle,
Yeah.
which
I've been a
sucks.
few
Imagine
quarters
having to
short.
pay halfway through your cycle to keep going. That'd be awful. At least you get a full cycle with a few quarters IRL. If you go to a laundromat, they got to keep feeding it. It's terrible.
Oof.
And then we get this cool little see that of course we get a talk, we get to see more of like they're not well off on money. Um and then we get cool little montage scene, I think, of like David walking to school,
Mhm.
and we see so many like links here. I mean, the phone, the crosswalks, you see all the advertisements, the different build, the Arasaka building, which is exactly the same as in game.
Mhm.
And then, like, even there was even a brief moment of like a street monk, like the monks, the anti cybernetic monks.
Yep.
So and it was like leading like a meditation circle or something. It's
Mhm.
cool. See all of
The
these things.
They wear the orangish colors, right? Like orangish brown robes.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Uh, and I love that so much that there's like you can find the exact scene in the game and the exact scene in the animated series. So obviously they worked so close hand in hand working together to make this thing happen. You know, because you can stop on a street corner and take a screenshot and it looks the exact same as the street corner in the animated series.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can.
Chef's
There's.
kiss
It's so
perfection.
cool. And then it kind of skip a little bit here because obviously we find out for one, David is going to Arasaka school, um, which we know affording that has to be a pretty penny, and they do not have a lot of money. So it's kind of a miracle, I think, that he's even going here. And then he messes it all up.
Yeah. He tries to cut a corner by not buying the latest tech upgrade and for the new beady wreaths in the classroom. And unfortunately, it explodes. And it
Yeah,
explodes everything.
yeah. And I see the thing that was cool is that he has like a different one because we like everyone else had the same one you see in like 2077,
Hmm.
and he has like an old like fossil tech as his asshole classmate calls it. Um,
Oh, Kuroshi can go
uh,
fuck himself. Like, big time.
Katsuo.
Oh, yes. It's
You said
Kuroshi.
Kuroshi optics. That's the eyeballs.
Oh, okay.
You get, yeah. It's still cyberpunk. You're good. It's just not the same thing. But yeah. So he messes it up. Mom gets a call from headmaster, principal, whatever you want to call it, um, and they kind of obviously they don't think he's a good fit, and that's probably just because of good old uh, corporate classism. He's obviously on a different level. I mean, I think they even say that he doesn't represent the values that you'd see in a financially stable home. So they're poor, so he doesn't belong here.
Those words piss me off so much. Like, I hate it. I hate it. Oh,
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't raised in a financially stable home, so I understand that entirely. So I'm not a fan of that either. Um, but yeah, they're driving in the car. They're having a uh, kind of heart to heart here. His mom's obviously going through a lot to put him through school, and try to pay for things or whatever. And then we get the tragedy, the first episode tragedy that will lead us down this dark cyberpunk path for this anime.
every story's got to start with a tragedy, and especially every story in Night City.
Yeah. So, dead parent,
Yep.
dead parent. But they do get attacked, which I, I was about to say I think it's cool. It's not like cool that she died, but they were attacked by the animals specifically, and we know that they're from Santo Domingo, which the animals control Santo Domingo. So it was a cool that they're kind of like keeping to the location like control that the gangs have in other
Mhm.
places. So, and we'll get to see a different gang in a later episode in a different sector, which also lines up. So that's cool. Um, so yeah, his mom. Well, they get shot at. They get in a car wreck, and of course, trauma team comes along and says, "Well, they're not clients, so we're not going to take care of them." Which we know, trauma team being the corporate funded service that they are, they only service their clients. So he has to take her to some budget doctor with the discount package.
Yeah. I mean,
A doctor
obviously
doesn't
they
even
didn't.
wear a shirt, just the apron.
At least he had an apron on, I guess?
Yeah, I
But yeah,
guess he had
no.
gloves, a little hair thing, whatever. But yeah, so um, that doesn't, it's not great. He has to go home. His mom's very injured, but stable, is what they tell us. And then we kind of skip to the next day, and he runs into Katsuo at school, who the asshole, the asshole, um, who beats him up essentially. Insinuates that his mom's a joy toy, and then beats him up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I said,
which
he can go very, very far away.
which, by the way, like big props to David. Like if I had a good relationship with my mom, and then somebody was saying stuff like that, which there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. You make your money where you make your money. Like, don't be shaming people for what they do for their career. Um, that
1000%.
and then like the way he was just a jerk. Like big props to him for walking away, or at least trying to.
Yeah,
I
he
heard a phone
tried.
call.
Huh?
I heard a phone call.
No, that was me trying to log into my iTunes account. I forgot my
Oh,
password.
okay. Amazing. Yeah.
Oh,
And the thing we kind of get from this fight is it was cool, like different like cyberware that we haven't seen before. At least I'm not familiar with it. You may be able to correct me if it's like from like the older editions of the tabletop, but the Strong Arms 400, as well as he referenced like MMA freeware. So I'm assuming mixed martial arts.
mhm. Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
so and I wonder if that's like if the Strong Arms 400 is that going to be something that we might see in the game later, or is it like the predecessor to Gorilla Arms? Because I'm assuming they probably serve kind of the same function.
It looked like it, but, his fighting style was a lot faster than what I expect from a gorilla arm user because they are the heavy fighters, and he was extremely fast.
Yeah, that's true. I think you can get like depending on because it's obviously like he's using like he's downloaded like martial arts styles depending on what it is. But obviously cybernetic arms they're probably going to be able to move faster. I think the game just shows us like how it is and like depending on how you spec in the game you can attack significantly faster than like the default.
Yeah.
But yeah, you still weren't going that fast. That's for sure.
And no, it's not, an item that I can find. So I think it must be brand new or
Okay.
old. I don't know how to put that one.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see more of it, maybe not. Who really knows? Um and we kind of finish off. He gets beat up. He gets a call. His mom has passed, unfortunately. Big sad. But kind of expecting it. They can't afford a whole lot, and it seems like the doctor requires you to pay in advance. So she doesn't make it, and he has to the most insincere manner of dealing with your mother's remains possible with an advertisement on budget friendly
Ugh,
cremation services.
yeah.
Oof. Yeah. Um, and that's it kind of that he gets down in the dumps and he decides that Sandevistan he found that he was going to sell to pay some bills. He's just going to install it. He's going to
Yeah.
start cybering up because that's what you kind of have to do in this world in order to get by. Can't do it all organic. So, uh, and it's just a final note. I would just like to say the music that they did so good, so good.
Oh
Like
yeah.
some of the music was from the game, but then like it's very cyberpunk, very cyberpunk.
Very cyberpunk, and they obviously spent time on picking the perfect songs to go along with a lot of different scenes.
Yeah,
Uh, very, very happy with it. And especially because it's like music is such an important aspect of the game. You know, like every quest is a song name. Um, and so obviously music is a huge part of it. All right. I think we should head into a mid break. What? What? I don't have any
do
music
it.
set up for it. Huh?
Oh no!
I don't have any
Never
music
mind.
set up
That
for a
was
mid break.
awkward. That was my V.
Oh, you want me to hit it? I mean, I can hit it. We can do that instead.
Oh geez.
That one was probably a lot louder. Sorry about
Oh
that.
yeah.
All right. I was trying to log into my iTunes to see if we could read out that review.
Did you?
No, I
I
forgot
can
my
bring it
fucking
up. I can bring it
password.
up. I can bring it up. Got it.
Sweet.
Say words. Thank the patrons.
All right. We're back. Let's thank the patrons. So, I know that this isn't a normal part of it, but Toasty and I really want to thank all the patrons who have been here since like day one. You guys stuck around while the show was on hold, and a few of you have recently joined up. So I'm going to go through the whole list of names and just shout each and every one of you out. Turbo Toboggan, I see you. I love you. You're awesome. Because I also know him from the Mass Effect Lorecast Patreon, so Turbo's cool.
The
Remy
OG. The OG
OG.
patron.
Yep. Remington Coultier. I know your name too. But also thank you to Trevor, Jesse, Julian, Robert, Jacob, Rexifer, Graham, Keegan, Charles, and Nick. Y'all kick ass. It's very much appreciated. Thank you. Patreon supporters are the best.
And we also have a couple iTunes reviews. Because apparently there's a new one that was recently done 3 days ago. But this one is from way back in April. Since the show's been on hiatus for a while. This one is from Brett Stallcup, a great source for Cyberpunk 2077 discussion. 5 stars. I've been playing Cyberpunk 2077 since the moment it released and am a massive fan. As such, I was happy to find this podcast. The episodes range from Cyberpunk 2077 lore to news, from critique to speculation, to commentary and meta commentary on the Cyberpunk genre itself. If you're a fan of the game and want to listen to a podcast on it, this is as good as it gets. Highly recommend. And then we also have a review from Courier 7. I'm friends with him IRL. We play tabletops together. I play Cyberpunk with him. He's one of the people in that group with me.
Oh,
This is Envy
nice.
Courier on the Discord. He says it's back. 5 stars. Been a longtime supporter and listener of the show, and I'm so happy that it's getting Toasty from the Witcher Lorecast and Genesis from Two Girls One Ship as the new hosts. So excited to see the topics and discussions they bring to this amazing podcast. Thank
Aw,
you, career.
yes. And
And
I
thank you,
hope
Brett.
that yes, I hope that we live up to the legacy left behind. Because Tom and Logan, they kicked ass on this show. They really did. And I hope that you and I can, live up to expectations. And it'll take us, an episode or two to really find our groove, but we'll get there. We'll get there for sure.
Believe in
And
us.
I believe in the power of the cards, the heart of the cards. It's an old Yu-Gi-Oh reference.
No, I know, I get it. I'm just like I looked over at my Yu-Gi-Oh binder over there. So
Oh.
before that turns into a tangent.
Let's get back into it and hit up episode 2.
Yeah.
2 deuces.
So episode 2. We kinda go more in depth for episode 1. That's kind of the important starter to the whole series, getting into everything, learning the characters and whatnot. Um and we do actually meet a new character this episode. So um this is the first episode that we get the opener for the show. Um
Mhm.
and I mean, first off, big props. The cyber, like, because it's kind of become such a thing. Like the cyberpunk yellow that's just so associated with the game now.
Yeah.
To like see it in like a good majority uh of this, and you know, good good song choice too. Big fan of the song choice. I've heard some complaints that it's not cyberpunky enough, but I don't know. If you listen to the lyrics, I think it's pretty cyberpunky.
Yeah, the lyrics definitely. I mean, so I think they're still okay, so Cyberpunk to me was originally like 80s synthy vibes. Like that's what it was for me. And now whether it's because the audience has changed or because it's now later in the world, it it definitely feels more 90s grunge, more techno, more of those vibes than, 80s synthy.
Think there's definitely a mix there. I mean, with Samurai being like the band that like
Mhm.
we see so much, and they're very much like 90s grunge vibes. So
Sorry, I'm messing with Twitch settings.
oh, okay. I was like, your facial reactions are throwing me off. All right. But there's something to note here. At the
Mm.
end of the intro, we see David take a bullet to the head.
I don't remember that.
It's at the very end of the intro. You see David's face like close up camera, and then just bullet hole, and he falls to the ground. And there's like someone standing over him.
Is that a throwback to the BD where you get shot in the head? Or is this
Are they telling us something?
exactly? I mean, that would
It's
kind of
cyberpunk. I mean, dying probably pretty likely.
yeah. Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah. I guess we'll find out. We're gonna find out in a little while with when we actually get to watching the full thing through. But it was just it was intriguing. I noticed it was a detail that I thought was interesting. Um, and then the first thing I think we see after that, David showers the same way V does in the game, the up against the wall lean, which I thought was hilarious. I was just like, what the heck? Uh, uh, I just thought that was funny. So we kind of get that, and then we get that same. He's kind of getting ready. We're watching him kind of go through the motions of things. He's obviously very upset, and then we get that same montage from episode 1 where he's like going along, like the path he takes to school, but he doesn't have to go to school anymore because he's been expelled.
Mhm.
Um, and but it's a lot. So it's a lot darker. Like he's pausing in every one of these scenes, and the same stuff is happening around him, but now he's just sitting on like the steps or whatever, and it's just
His world is colored in a completely different view. It's a different way to see everything because it's like this is the first day where his mom is not in his life and he doesn't have a path. He has a path that he can travel down, but no real destination. He doesn't know where he's going anymore. He doesn't have to go to school. He doesn't have to, you know, do all the things that he would normally do because his mom is gone and he's been expelled. What do you do?
we don't actually really find out what he would have done because on the train he meets Lucy,
Ah,
who is a pick socket.
yes, pick socket. I
Pick socket.
love the play on the words there because it's like a pickpocket is going to steal your wallet out of your jeans and then now all your money and your ID is gone. But a pick socket is going to literally like almost Jedi force the chips out of your neck socket, which is creepy. Ugh. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. We have the chips, and I think it can be assumed. I believe what I saw, or at least the things that I've seen on it, is that you essentially kind of have your wallet in one of those chip slots.
Mhm.
Like it's, but it's a chip that has all that same information slash like credits and stuff. So she's basically, yeah, she is pickpocketing their wallet. It's just a chip now. Um, and they team up, or well, she tries to steal his, but which I see that you had some things to say about this, but he senses that he has been picksocketed, but no one else does.
So, because that one, I was definitely wondering that because I wasn't sure if they were like ID chips or cred chips or anything along those lines. But if that is basically your wallet that you keep in your neck socket, ew, um, I guess that would make sense and that a lot of people wouldn't notice it. But I think that David notices it because of the cyberware. Because of the Sandy, he's got those heightened senses and he can notice her being like fast or using using her own gear.
Okay. Hmm. He notices, he catches her, and well, he needs money, so he decides to team up with her, so they can split it. They argue over price for a little bit. Decide to go 70-30, and then we see him steal a whole bunch of chipware. She basically ejects them with her net running because she's a net runner, and he is using the Sandy to like dart in and grab them without being noticed.
Hmm.
And he
And
uses it a lot.
it looks very, very cool. Like I love watching it and it's just like the world kind of stops and you can see him grab it and then the world turns back to normal speed,
Hmm.
which is
And
exactly what
then
it looks like in game too.
yeah, I haven't used the stand as much. I guess I need to use it on this playthrough. I need to
Uh,
install it.
I have it and I've been running with it and I really like it because I mainly like melee and shotgun. So for me to be able to use the shotgun and then run up and bash you in the face, it works out perfectly.
I think I can't remember what I used in my first playthrough from my melee, but I know in the game or the tabletop as well, Sandevistan gives you like a +2 to your initiative
Mhm.
mechanically. So essentially the same, like the same kind of idea. You're moving faster, so you get to use a faster initiative. Um, So, like I said, they team up to steal a bunch of them. He uses the Sandy a lot, and then uh, apparently there's some consequences for it.
Oh yeah. Definitely. It gets brought up that one implant can cause cyberpsychosis, either because of the strength of it or not. Yeah. I think it has a lot to do with strength of like how powerful the Sandy is in comparison to like, oh, if you just have like an eyeball that's a cyber. Okay. So, and the way that I was thinking about it was this, like, if you don't build up to that level of cyberware, it can mess you up. If you've only had water your entire life, and then all of a sudden you're given a double tequila sunrise, it's going to rock your system. But if you've been exposed and building up a tolerance to tequila for the last 20 odd years, that same drink is just how you get the night started. So, go big or go home shouldn't be applied to Chrome.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. He's warned, hey, don't overuse it. Which I mean, he's not going to listen to that.
No.
We got to like what be the point if he's be oh yeah, this thing that is obviously very important. I'm listen to you and just use it twice a day, no problems. Yeah, we can already tell that that's not going to happen. But basically they kind of broker a deal for some immuno.
Mm-hmm.
Was
Was it the boosters or immunosuppressants?
Immunosuppressants, yeah.
Yeah.
They get ripped off. We find out this Ripper Doc just basically charges an arm and a leg for everything. And now David's kind of in debt to Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to he also needs money, so he's really trying to push to do more stuff. She says, nah, let's just go hang out, and takes her back to her place, which probably the only person that realized this because of how in love with Judy I am. It's the same hallway that's outside of Judy's apartment. Like it's the same layout. Like it looks like you're about to walk into Judy's apartment. Like I noticed that. I was like, hey, I recognize that. It's not the same building. I know that. We learned that. We found I found where Lucy's kind of like apartment building general area is.
Mm-hmm.
Very far away in Japantown. But yeah, so I recognize that. Another similarity. So many of them. And then they're kind of like hanging out, talking about stuff, trauma sharing.
Yeah. I mean, every good friendship starts off with a trauma bond.
Yeah. We see Broseph beer.
The Broseph. Yeah.
Broseph beer. Another thing in game. Find out that David doesn't like carbonated beverages, which sure.
I mean,
interesting little quirk.
It is, but it's those tiny details that make a person feel real, you know? Like, he's got a little thing about him. He doesn't like fizzy stuff. You know? Personality quirk.
That's fair. That's fair. And then, they kind of bond for quite a bit there. And then Lucy decides to show him like a special brain dance of the moon.
Oh.
Which, like, how do you get your hands on that? That seems like a very expensive brain dance.
I didn't even think about how much money that would cost. Like, yeah. Damn.
Yeah,
but I also have Frank Sinatra playing in my head.
On the moon too.
Mm-hmm.
Like as she said, if it was set to normal settings, the sun would fry you because like the atmosphere on the moon does not protect you like from the sun's rays.
Right.
So yeah, it's like.
Oh, and the whole breathing aspect of it. They're running around without spacesuits on.
Yeah, but they do get like the cool gravity stuff too, which is that's cool. Um, and so another montage. The like I'm falling in love with you thing basically is obviously like that moment where he. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, they do have a couple of little cute little moments there, like flying through the air, holding hands. And, well, seeing that, I had Frank Sinatra playing in my head, like the Fly Me to the Moon. And I was just like, oh, sweet little moment. At least David has something that he can smile about today because my God, did he have a shit day.
Yeah. So, it's this whole thing they talk about, like she tells them they make a good team. And then his day becomes shit again because he's yanked
Mm.
out. Turns out she manipulated him because her gang wants that Sandy. And that's how we end the show, is him getting punched into the ceiling, essentially. And that's it. That's the episode.
Oh, poor David. Poor,
Yeah.
poor
Yeah.
David.
Yeah. She's a master manipulator there. She played him like a fiddle.
Mhm. It's all about the feminine wiles. If you got them, use them. I
It's
think in
fine. She's charmed me too. It's all good.
I know somebody who absolutely hasn't charmed you, and we get to talk about her in episode 3.
Oh dear. All right. Yeah. So episode 3, it's kind of like, this one's a lot less I think it's a lot less like plot heavy. It's just kind of a job. Like, you know, he encounters these people, he convinces him like, "Hey, let me keep the Sandy, let me work with you." Finds out that like his mom was trying to, or was peddling cyberware to these people, to pay the bills, which fair,
Yeah.
but
And like
you
you kind of got a hint of that because as soon as David left for school, that lady called Gloria and she was like, I don't know, there was something shady about that phone call that I was like, "Ooh,
it
mom's
was to
making money."
Maine. It was to the main guy that we're seeing here,
Oh,
because she
okay.
says Maine, or she just says Maine, I think, and that's it. That cuts off the phone call. And this is Maine, real big dude. And but David convinces him, and they set him up with a job to steal the navigation data from a driver for, man, I can't remember his name, unfortunately. It's like Tasaka, I think, which is, I believe, Katsuo's father, or Tanaka is Katsuo's father, the guy that uh, David's classmate, rival, or enemy, or whatever. Um,
Asshole.
they steal it. Plan goes wrong, because when does the plan ever go right? And they have to steal the whole car and run from some tiger claws, which that was cool. Seeing tiger claws in the Corpo zone, which there's all the the Arasaka connections from the past that they have.
Mhm.
Um, and they get in a fight, and Maine saves the day. But we also get to see kind of how badass everyone is. Lucy's badass with that mono wire. That was sick.
Yes.
And Maine is so cybered out. Um, yeah, and it was the main details I see here is like, obviously, the hacking screen,
Mm.
like the data, the same as the data mining screen. Um, I thought there was a cool detail that I thought of, like, kind of, there's like this moment where Maine and David are kind of like staring each other down, and I thought that was like probably kind of them doing like the face down mechanic from Cyberpunk Red,
Oh.
because it's specifically them facing down each other, because they're just staring at each other, waiting to see who's going to be the first to break. And that is basically the same in Cyberpunk Red, is that you can do a face down, and it's like a D10 plus your cool plus your reputation,
Mhm.
and whoever loses folds to the other person.
Yep.
I thought
Ah.
that was cool.
Yep.
And obviously, overusing the Sandy. We said this was going to happen. It did happen. He's still doing it. His nose was bleeding, and he was all kinds of zonked out. Yeah, and the also the money transfer was the same
Mm.
as well.
Yep.
Like when it pops up and like the way it's funneled in, same as the game.
Yep.
And then we meet Faraday.
Oh, all right. Faraday. I was like, you're just gonna skip over.
Oh shit! I'm gonna talk about her last. I'm gonna talk about her
Okay.
last because I might
All right.
rant. So I'm just gonna
Okay.
leave it. Yeah, Faraday first.
Okay. Faraday is a creep, and I do not like his face at all. Like, it is one of the biggest cringes I have ever seen. And I'm like, and it's just because it's creepy and it's because it's so out of the norm. Like, okay, seeing people jacked up huge on Cyber, or, the way that Maine looks with his muscles that are probably bigger than my entire torso, that's
Or
at
even
least
the
still with.
Maelstrom eyes. Like the Maelstrom eyes aren't even like you kind of get used to them. Like with all their weird like red like eyes that look like there's like 8 of them or whatever. Like
Mhm.
that's kind of like becoming normal at this point. Like not like that's kind of like oh it's Maelstrom. Like it's just kind of a signifier.
Yeah. But Faraday, his left eye is normal. It is human. It doesn't even look like it's a cyber eye to me. I mean, you can't always tell, but it didn't even look cyber to me. On the right side of his face, he's got 3 eyeballs, like just one on top of each other, like going down a line of his face. And it's creepy. I don't like it.
I'm so there's something I mean yeah it's definitely like unnerving and like they really like the light they put on them and everything is like it's so pointing like how like creepy and like bad this dude is because like we find out he's basically like essentially like a corpo level fixer
Mhm.
like he's a fixer but I'm assuming he deals with like the corporations which that's like the high level fixing um so probably like information brokering and stuff between different corporations so he's probably getting paid. I mean he was in a suit and everything so he's probably getting paid pretty nicely. I'm kind of hoping this is the biggest misdirect ever
Yep, that's exactly
because
where
it's
I was going.
so pointing out how glaringly villain like he is that I'm hoping that he's like just a solid dude. like,
Yeah.
but like also Giancarlo Esposito, he does play a lot of villains.
Yeah.
Mandalorian, he was the bad guy. Moff Gideon, bad guy. I think in Far Cry 5 or 6 or something, he's like an evil dictator. So like, you know, it's
But it
hard
would
to
be
tell.
so good if that was just a good misdirect, because you assume that the corpo bastard's gonna be a bastard. Like, that's what you always wanna believe. But my Visa Corpo, and, I don't see him that way. I think he's a good guy-ish. So maybe
I think
Faraday is not horrible. Oh,
yeah.
Ben of Temeria in chat says that it was Far Cry 6.
Okay. Thank you, Ben. Um, so yeah, so I guess we'll see. We'll find out. I'm sure this isn't the last. If you're gonna pay Giancarlo Esposito to voice a character, it can't be just once.
Right.
so, and then Jen, th- it's time. It's time, Jen. Why don't you tell them
Aw.
about her, and I'll rant after.
Oh, you mean Rebecca? She's
Yes,
so
everyone, Rebecca.
Yes, she's so cute and adorable. I
Oh
absolutely
yeah,
love her. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
No,
All
that
right.
is a
Sick. I bet
whole
she was real
thing.
cute and adorable when she was jacking that dude off.
Oh,
no.
yeah.
So Rebecca, this is where cyberpunk becomes less cyberpunk. Well, although to be
No,
fair,
it is
there is
cyberpunk.
kind of it is cyberpunk. It is kind of still a cyberpunk thing, but it's very much an anime thing, and that
Mhm.
is the lolly character because Rebecca is the lolly. The lolly being, for people who aren't familiar, the character that is made to look like an extremely young girl,
Do
and
you
she
know where
definitely
the
looks the part.
Yeah, do you know where the phrase lolly comes from?
No, I don't.
Ah, okay. So, old school here to teach you. A lolly is a lolita, and a lolita was a book back in the day, about an older man who had a lot of attraction and desire for a very, very young girl, and how he stalked and seduced this. I think she was 12 the first time he met her. And then,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, dude, it's messed up. And then he follows her and revisits her several times throughout her lifetime until she's like all the way up in her 20s. But his name for her was this little Lolita. And that is where, shortened down, where the phrase lolly comes from, of a person who either is young or acts way younger or dresses or tries to portray to be that underage girl.
so yeah, and I read a little bit of it, um, about how Studio Trigger, basically they were like, they were more than happy to oblige like changes that uh CDPR wanted to be made, like to the show, like if something didn't seem quite right or if there's something they wanted to change or whatever, they were like, yeah, sure, that's fine. Except when CDPR said the lolly ain't gonna work. Studio Trigger apparently put their foot down and said, "We don't care. The lolly stays." So cool. And I will give props. In a cyberpunk world where you can choose to be or look however you want, there's definitely going to be people that choose to do that.
Yeah.
It's just the idea of someone who looks like she's 10 walking around in what her clothes, by the way, she wears her bra and panties with a big coat over it. That's her wardrobe. That's what she likes to wear.
She wears shoes too.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
that doesn't make it any better. It
Doesn't work.
really
It doesn't
doesn't.
work with her like tininess and pigtails and
No.
such. Which, by the way, also another thing I noticed the end of episode 3, uh, is that she has "dick" tattooed on her leg, like the word "dick," like in a thigh band. I thought that was hilarious. It's so funny, so good. Oh dear. But yeah, so it's fair. It makes sense. Doesn't mean I have to like it. That's probably my only like major critique. It's just like I don't like the idea of lollies. But she's
Yeah.
here to stay.
I mean, hopefully she'll get some like major plot point for. I mean, she's obviously there as a distraction. She's there as, she has a purpose for being in the gang, and working on David's team, because I don't think the mission would have been nearly as successful as it was if she hadn't have given the handy. Like, she was there for distraction.
Yeah, I
So
don't
she,
think they're going to tell us the roles of different people. I think it's just kind of like based on context that you got to find out. Like we know, uh, obviously we know Lucy's a netrunner, Kiwi's a netrunner, main solo, obviously. You know
Mhm.
what? I found out what she is. I found out what like class she is. You know what she is?
Hmm.
She's a solo.
Rebecca's a solo.
Rebecca's a solo. That's her role. She's a fighty person.
Um, I I could go off on that, but I really shouldn't.
Yeah.
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 Let's talk about my favorite scene, though.
Okay, go
Because
ahead.
it's we will redirect that so hard. My favorite was the data mine hacking screen in the car. I freaking love that. And it's because it was such a direct pull from the game. It pulls up on screen basically, and you can just see Lucy going through and making all the different selections. And it's like, I thought that that was the coolest thing. Like that's one of the little things that pulls me in back into this thing, and it reminds me that this is a world, this is a universe, and all of the media is connected together. You can read about hacking in the books, you can read about it in the comics, you can now see it on the Netflix, and you can see it in the game. Everything just pulls together. It's so cool.
Yeah. I mean, it made me want to get back in the game, and that's so. I'm excited. I like this show. I will say, episode 4, really good, really good, really. I know I cheated, but it's really good.
All right. Well, hopefully that's not the foundation for this new relationship, Toasty. You're not going to cheat on me every week, are you?
No comment. It
Uh,
depends on how episode 5 and 6 go. If they
what?
might, because like first 3 episodes are like kind of like an intro to things. 5 and 6, this is the middle. That's going to be the real draw. That's where the media stuff is going to happen probably, except for
Mhm.
like the finale. So like, if it's really good, I don't know if I can stop. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
All right. Well, I think that's it for tonight. So, what else you got going on?
Well, of course, a lot of you probably know me. Uh, Also the co-host on the Witcher Lorecast, another show on the network, and I am also a player for the Cyberpunk podcast, Cyberpunk apostrophe D, where it's a live play podcast of Cyberpunk Red with the Fumbling Four and Almighty Crit Gang. Um, so go check those shows out.
Yeah, and I am Genesis, one half of the Two Girls, One Ship podcast, where we analyze, rate, and review all that the world of video game romances has to offer. So, and of course, you can find the both of us on the Robots Radio Network Discord. We are in there all the time chatting it up with people on a bunch of different channels and topics and shows. So come give them a listen, come give us a follow, and follow us. We will be live streaming the recordings of the episodes every week on Thursday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/cyberpunklorecast. All one word. So come and give us a follow and watch our beautiful faces talk about everything cyberpunk.
And if you are listening to the audio only, did we decide Sundays for release date for those?
I think so. I think Sunday's going to work out best for me for editing and scheduling and all that stuff. And of course, if
So,
you're on the Patreon, uh, then you'll get the episodes a day early also. At least
yeah.
a day early. And ad free and no cuts made. So you get to hear all of our shenanigans.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Immediately lose 5 bit. No. uh,
All right. Well, thanks, everybody. And stay safe in Night
Stay
City.
safe. Yeah.
All right. Stopping the podcast recording. We are still live and up on Twitch. We can hang out. Ben is here. I don't know why my little bots didn't work. They are not doing what they were supposed to on the stream. So I will fix and work
Yeah,
on that. But it's first stream goofs. They always happen.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
And you know what, dude? We actually did really good on time.
Yeah, I think we can definitely cut it back because what, an hour 15,
Yeah.
or when did we start actually talking? That's the real question. I don't know.
So I have an hour 5 of actual
Okay.
episode. And then I know that with edits, because I do edit for content, so a lot of our little mess ups and missed beats and things like that will get edited out. But I also do want to keep this one a little bit raw to the point where it's like, yeah, we are still, well, you and I know each other. We're still getting to know each other as a podcasting duo.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. Well, hour 5, not too bad actually.
Mm-mm.
So yeah,
For 3 episodes, yeah.
we could definitely do it around the 45-minute mark regularly.
Yeah.
These always went longer for Witcher too, so like talking about the show and stuff. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, Witcher had full length episodes, and there was a
yeah, that's
lot to
true.
talk about.
Yeah. 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 I think for when I talked about season 2, I think I definitely dumbed it down more than for season 1. It was like, it was, some of those episodes were fucking long.
Yeah.
Uh, we definitely have, we definitely perfected it for season 2 a bit better. So at least, luckily, these are anime episodes. So
Mm-hmm. Maya, you've been so good. You only jumped up on the table once during stream.
if anything, it's my fault. Yep,
Yep.
Ben's right. It's definitely my fault.
If anything. Yeah.
It's fine. I'll take credit. I mess up everything.
No. No, I think we did good. All right. So I am going to edit, get all that shit figured out tonight, then get it out to the patrons, and then schedule it. And I'll figure out some mid break music.
Yeah,
Ben, you are not always right. You pick Triss over Yen.
that's true. That is true. Tristan definitely can't be right all the time.
Hey, Win. Appreciate you. You're
I kind of
way
messed.
late, dude. Episode's over. Toasty and I are in
Yeah, we're
post.
done. It's a goodbye.
It
It's
is
done.
goodbye.
But it's all right. You can go listen to it on Spotify or wherever. Nah, you're fine. You're fine, Win. I saw someone asking me where we were recording while we were recording, and I was like, I can't respond to you. It's like I could have, but my brain wouldn't have allowed me to keep up. I would have. There would have been a fuck up moment, and I was like, nah.
Oh,
So it's all
yeah.
good. I'll let them know for next time.
Sweet. Courier 7, who is that? Because they follow the girls and everything too. Which
AV
character are they?
Courier on Robots Radio. Um,
Mm-hmm.
wait, which character?
Yeah, didn't you say that they play on your Cyberpunked?
Oh, he plays Vic, who is a lawman.
Oh, okay. So not was that season 1? Not on your season.
No, 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 no. Oh, I meant like in my personal game. My bad.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I don't play, not that group. He's in my personal, like a couple of my gaming groups. In my Friday group and my Sunday group. So
Okay. Cool, cool.
dynamic or condenser? Dynamic, I think. I mean, if you
Um,
have the money for it, Ben, Tom highly recommends the Shure MV7, which is what I have. But it is a little pricey. It's like $250, possibly more now. It was $250 when I bought it.
I
So
went with a black Yeti or the blue Yeti, but in black because I like black better. And I think I went with condenser
okay.
because it is only me talking. I'm not ever recording multiple people, or I don't do music, so I don't need the dynamic. I don't need it to sound like the music is coming from over here and then it switches over there. Well, if you have money, Ben, send it on over. Oh, and also, I talked with Shanko earlier today, and I am so sorry. That sucks for you.
Wait, what?
Because of the hurricane right now, Ben had to cancel his Disney trip.
Oh,
Yeah. And
yeah.
he's been looking so forward to going to the Wizarding World. Ah, sucks.
I want to go to that sometime. Be nice.
We need to do a meetup. Jenn and Toastie hit the town.
Yeah.
We'll go
Well,
to a good tea
I
bar.
don't. I would not be. I was like, I would not be that fun in
Oh.
person. I'm fucking so much more antisocial.
But it's
Like seriously,
me.
it doesn't. I'm just like, man, the introvert comes out hard. Like when I'm like online is I feel more comfortable because I'm not like actually around people,
Yeah.
but like in person, like it just the introvert comes out and I'm just yeah. Like I'm that dude that sits like well, to be fair, I don't go to parties, but if I was to go to a party, I'm the guy in the corner by myself, not talking to anybody.
Yeah.
So
I am the chick in the middle of the room, bouncing around, going, hey, 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 hi, missed you, love you, see you again. Like, I flit around. I am the extrovert. No,
I could
not for
never.
you.
I could never. No. I'm I'm incredibly introverted. But my wife's even worse than I am.
Oh,
So yeah, like whew,
yeah.
it
Jace
gets
is the big introvert. Like, we are so completely polar opposite on it. Like, it took months for him to finally meet Sam. I was like, I've hung out with this kid like 27 million times. Are you going to meet my new friends or not? He's like, yeah, okay, eventually. Yeah. But yeah.
one day. One day. I don't know. It's
Maybe we could do that. Going to Universal next September. What if we all did a big Wizarding World trip and went to go see the Harry Potter shit? Or, fuck it, dude. Let's all pool money together for a big trip to Poland and we can go to the Witcher School.
it's closed.
It is closed.
I think they shut it down. I don't think it's like a thing anymore. I can't
Mm.
remember. I think I saw something about that. Ben will
Yeah,
probably
you're
know.
right.
He knows better than me. No, I'm cool with a Disney trip, like group Disney trip. That'd be sick. Me and Mrs. Toastie want to go anyways. Like uh, we were planning one out like last year, but then uh, we just didn't have the money for it. No, we were planning it for this year, and then we got uh like side we got hit from out of nowhere with the having to go to Mexico for her residency. So that
Mm,
just was like, oh, okay, money, bye bye.
yeah,
So
that sucks.
maybe next year we'll see. But you
Yeah,
know, she got a residency. That's what
that's cool.
matters. That's much
Yeah.
better. So and then in two, I think at this point that was back in February or March. Yeah, February. So now in 2 years and 3 months, she can apply for citizenship
Citizenship here? What?
in the
Oh,
U.S. Yeah,
yeah, duh. My brain was
she
like,
didn't.
isn't she already? Because no, it's green card because you guys are married. That's different. It's not
Yeah,
citizen. Yeah,
but it's 10-year visa or 10-year green card. So
yeah.
that's we don't have to worry about that. But she'll be getting her citizenship far before that, so that'll be fine.
Yeah. I definitely want to meet Mrs. Toastie. I've only seen pictures. You got to meet Mr. Jen last night.
Unfortunately, she is not like coming onto screen. Like she'll peek through the door and then she'll like see that face is on and she'll retreat.
Yeah.
So there's so many people that want to meet her. Like the whole Strahd group that I'm in, everyone's like really wants to meet her. Like they act like she's like some mythical figure.
Is she
They're like
real?
they hear her voice in the back, like when it comes in to give me something, and they're like, "Is that Mrs. Toastie? Is this hi Mrs. Toastie?" They're like so excited.
I wonder how he feels about me calling him Mr. Jen. I like it. I'm going to keep it.
Mhm. They're the ones that coined Mrs. Toastie, and I was like, I like that. I'm gonna keep with it. So,
All right.
mm,
I'm going to go eat dinner
okay,
and start working on editing. And yeah,
I'm going to go to bed
go.
real shortly.
Oh, I was like, go play
Yeah,
Cyberpunk.
no, go to bed.
Okay.
A half an hour till my bedtime. So, Mhm.
All right. Bye,
nice first
guys. And
episode. Air high five.
yes. Woo! And so many followers. And thank you, Ben and Win, for hitting up chat tonight. And all the other amazing followers that we've gotten so far. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
All right. We are no longer streaming, and Toasty is no longer here.